Wife returns laughing from business trip, then turns pale when the truth comes out. Her laughter, once a melody that warmed my heart, now carried an edge, sharp and unrecognizable. The sound greeted me as Sarah walked through the front door, fresh from her business trip. She kicked off her heels, her laughter echoing lightly in the air as though she were still far away in some untouchable place. "Hello, sweetie," she said, her tone airy, casual, detached. But then her gaze fell on the framed photo on the dining table. It was a picture from our wedding day. Her in that breathtaking lace gown, me in my crisp navy suit, both of us glowing with joy. Except now, bold red letters slashed across the glass, spelling out 2 words. Her laughter died in an instant, replaced by silence as heavy as a storm cloud. She froze, her face draining of color, her smile faltering. Slowly, she turned to face me, her wide, fearful eyes searching mine. "What is this?" she whispered, her voice fragile. I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed, the picture still on display between us. "Why don't you tell me, Sarah?" She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Panic flashed across her face as she calculated how much I knew. "Jack, I don't know what you're talking about." Her voice wavered, her confidence crumbling. I let out a bitter laugh, one even I didn't recognize. "Please, Sarah, don't insult my intelligence. For months I've watched you slip away, business trips, late nights at the office, a sudden passion for the gym." My voice rose with every word, the hurt spilling out like a flood. "And then I found this." I held up my phone, displaying a series of photos, her and Mark, her so-called business partner, holding hands at a seaside resort, sharing a kiss under a cabana, laughing over drinks at a bar. Her facade shattered. "Jack, I can explain," she stammered, stepping toward me, hands raised in an attempt to pacify. "Explain?" I snapped, cutting her off. "Explain how you've been sneaking around with Mark while I worked overtime to pay for your yoga retreats and spa days." My voice cracked with fury, but beneath it was a deeper ache, betrayal. "Tell me, Sarah, are you sorry because you got caught or because of what you've done?" Tears welled in her eyes as she pleaded. "Jack, please let me explain. It's not what it looks like." I raised a hand to stop her. "Don't. Just don't." My tone turned cold, calculated. "For 2 months, I've been gathering everything. I wanted to be sure I wasn't imagining it. Now that I am, I've made some decisions." She froze, tears spilling down her cheeks. "First," I began, my voice steady, "I've already filed for divorce. My lawyer has the papers, and you'll receive them tomorrow. You might want to review the prenuptial agreement before contesting. It's airtight." Her face crumpled further. "Second," I added, "I've told Mark's wife everything. She was very understanding, by the way. She even shared some photos of her own. Did you really think no one else was watching?" Her sobs turned into a desperate wail as she sank into a chair. "Jack, please. I love you. I made a mistake." "Love?" I asked, laughing hollowly. "You call this love?" "No, Sarah. You loved the stability and comfort I gave you, but you didn't respect me. You threw it all away. For what? A cheap thrill?" Her hands trembled as she buried her face in them, sobbing. But I felt only relief. A weight I hadn't realized I was carrying was finally lifted. I grabbed my keys and turned to leave. "I'll be staying at a hotel for a few days. Movers will come to pack your things by the end of the week. You need to be out of this house. Jack, please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling," she cried, her voice breaking. I shook my head, pausing at the door. "This isn't something that can be fixed, Sarah." Then, with one last look, I added, "Oh, and I canceled the credit card for that new purse you bought on your business trip. Have fun explaining that." Without another word, I walked out, her cries fading behind me. As I drove away, my emotions churned, rage, sorrow, betrayal. But beneath it all was a quiet sense of freedom. For the first time in months, I felt hopeful. The next morning, a message lit up my phone. It was from Mark's wife. "Thank you for telling me. I'm leaving him too. We deserve better." She was right. We did. And as I watched the sunrise from my hotel room, I realized the end of my marriage wasn't the end of my life. It was the beginning of something new, a chance to find someone who truly valued me. For the first time in a long time, I felt ready to move forward.